Hello and welcome to all students. In this lecture, we learn about measures of central tendency. So, first of all, we see what is the meaning of measures of central tendency. Measures. So, see the word measurement. Measurement word. You have heard about the word measurement. We have we have to take a measurement. We have to learn about the measurements. What are the measurements to find out the central tendency of a given data means some set of values or collection of values. Okay, so collection of values. If we have a collection of values, then what is the central value of this data value? Okay, what is the central value of given data values? Means suppose we have a given 10 numbers, then what is the number which is located at the center of the given data? Means, or we can say that, or we can say, or find we find the techniques to find out we find or we learn about the techniques to find out the central value of the given data, or we learn about the techniques to find the value of a given data which represents whole data. So see here, we know that uh, there is one measure that all of you know, that one measure is mean, arithmetic mean. You learn about that arithmetic mean in 10th standard as well as in 12th standard. The arithmetic, so how to find arithmetic means, or we generally you generally speak about this arithmetic mean. जसं की आपण जनरली असं म्हणतो की गाडीचा ॲव्हरेज किती आहे, बरोबर आहे. अरिथमेटिक मीन्स ॲव्हरेज. वी हॅव टू लर्न अबाउट द ॲव्हरेजेस. ओके, मग गाडीचा ॲव्हरेज जर काढायचा असेल तुम्हाला, फोर व्हीलर असेल किंवा टू व्हीलर असेल, मग त्याचं काय करतो आपण की एका महिन्याचं साधारण एक आपण आकडेवारी घेत असतो आणि त्याच्यामध्ये एका लिटरमध्ये गाडी तुमची किती किलोमीटर जाते. समजा पहिल्यांदा ट्रायल केली, एक 40 किलोमीटर गेली. दुसरी वेळेला ट्राय केली, 50 किलोमीटर गेली. तिसरी वेळ ट्राय केली, 60 किलोमीटर गेली. ओके, म्हणजे समजा तीनच व्हॅल्यू तुम्ही जर विचारात घेतल्या, तर मग ऑन अन ॲव्हरेज ती गाडी किती किलोमीटर जाते तुम्ही कसं काढचाल. तर ती जी सेंट्रल व्हॅल्यू येते 40, 50 आणि 60ची सेंट्रल व्हॅल्यू किती असते, 50. तर ऑन अन ॲव्हरेज आपण म्हणतो गाडीचं ॲव्हरेज 50 आहे. सो 50 आहे. ओके, 50 किलोमीटर पर लिटर. ओके, तर अशा पद्धतीने ॲव्हरेज म्हणजे दिलेल्या डेटाची सेंट्रल व्हॅल्यू फाइंड आउट करणे. दॅट वी विल लर्न इन दिस युनिट. ओके, so this is the one measure, finding arithmetic mean of the given values, and that arithmetic mean will give us a central value of the given data. Okay, in this way we will learn about many measures to find out the central value of a given data. So measures of central tendency. Okay, that is the very simple meaning of this unit. Okay, so first of all we see about the introduction. Okay, so first of all we learn about the basic concepts from the statistics. So first basic concept is population. So you might, or you heard about the population. All of you know what is mean by population. पॉप्युलेशन फक्त लोकांचीच असते असं नाही. पॉप्युलेशन ही वेगवेगळी असू शकते. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी सी व्हॉट इज मीन बाय पॉप्युलेशन. uh, any well-defined set of objects about which a statistical inquiry is being made is called the population. Okay, so here any well-defined set of objects uh, about which a statistical inquiry is being made is called the population. Set of objects is the population. Okay, and if we have population, then for statistical analysis, statistical inquiry, we collect some data from that population. Okay, so for example, see here, for example, uh, people in the village, गावची लोकसंख्या, गावामध्ये असणारी लोक. Okay, that is the population. Trees in the forest, this is also a one type of population. Fish in the lake, this is also one type of population. तर हे जी पॉप्युलेशन आहे, तळ्यातील मासे, तर हे वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे असतात. त्यांचा वेगवेगळा डेटा आपण घेऊ शकतो. तसंच की जंगलातील झाडे, त्यांचंसुद्धा ते सुद्धा वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारची झाडे असतात. मग कोणत्या प्रकारची किती झाडे आहेत, हा जर डेटा आपण घेतला तरी आपल्याला एक डेटा मिळू शकतो. आपल्याला डेटा मीन्स ओके, डेटा मीन्स नंबर्स, set of numbers. Okay, next example of population is students in a particular class. It also forms a one type of population, and from this populations we can collect some information, collect some data in the form of numbers, Okay, so now now next definition is the definition of variate. Variate, do you heard about the variate? I think you don't heard about the variate. So variate is a word obtained from the variable. Okay, and variable, variation, see the words variation, variable, variate. Okay, so first word is variable. Vary means change, variable means changeable. Okay, and variate means a entity which changes. Okay, that is called as a variate, entity which changes. Okay, so see here the definition of variate. If the characteristic that is being studied, if the characteristic that is being studied in numerical, which refers to the quantity, then it is called variate or variable. Okay, so see the example now. In how many examples, in above examples, height of student, in above example, height of students, number of family members, marks obtained in maths, all are variate. You see here simple. Suppose we have a population of students in a class, and if we measure the height of each students, suppose in the class there are 100 students, and if we measure the height of each student, then for one student we have one number for height. Okay, so in this way we have how many numbers corresponding to height? 100 numbers for 100 students. Okay, so height of a student, that is the variate, because it changes student to student. Okay, height changes student to student. For a different student we have a different height. Okay, that's why the entity height of the student we call it is variate because it changes student to student. Okay, that is the one example, okay, of variate. Now second example is number of family members. Okay, so see here in the class of 100 students, and if we count the number of family members of each student, प्रत्येक विद्यार्थ्याच्या फॅमिलीमध्ये किती मेंबर आहेत याचा जर डेटा आपण गोळा केला तर 100 विद्यार्थी आहेत क्लासमध्ये. 100 विद्यार्थ्यांमध्ये प्रत्येक विद्यार्थ्याच्या घरात किती फॅमिली मेंबर आहेत याचा डेटा कलेक्ट करायचा. मग पहिला विद्यार्थी घेतला, त्याच्या घरामध्ये किती विद्यार्थी आहेत, त्याच्या घरामध्ये किती फॅमिली मेंबर्स आहेत. दुसरा विद्यार्थी घेतला, त्याच्या घरामध्ये किती फॅमिली मेंबर्स आहेत. तर हा जर डेटा आपण कलेक्ट केला तर एका विद्यार्थ्याशी करस्पॉन्डिंग एक नंबर मिळेल आपल्याला. तर अशा प्रकारे तसेच आपल्याला 100 नंबर्स मिळतील, 100 नंबर्स. ओके, तसंच स्टुडंट चेंज केला की त्याचा तो येणारा करस्पॉन्डिंग नंबर जो आहे फॅमिली मेंबर्स, नंबर ऑफ फॅमिली मेंबर्स इन द number of family members of student, that we will change if we change the student. So this is also a so number of family members of a student, that entity is the variate. It changes student to student, it changes student to student. Okay, okay, now consider next discrete variable. Discrete variable. Now what is meant by discrete variable? We will see what is meant by discrete variable. Now see here, there are two types of variable. First is discrete variable and second is continuous variable. So discrete variable means, so two types of variables. First is discrete variable and second is continuous variable. So I will take two examples and I will explain what is meant by discrete and what is meant by continuous variable. So first of all, we take a discrete variable. So see here, in a class, in the above example, in the class of 100 students, we consider a variate. What is that variate? Variate is the number of family members of each student. Okay, प्रत्येक विद्यार्थ्याच्या घरामध्ये किती लोक आहेत, that is the one variate, and that variate is discrete. Means see here, suppose we take a first student, then in his family, suppose there are 4 members. In the second student, suppose in his family there are 5 family members. Okay, so that value will take values whole numbers as a whole numbers, means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, like this, whole numbers. Discrete variable means variable which takes a whole number, variable which takes only whole numbers. That is very simple. Okay, a variable which takes only integer values like 1 2 3 is called discrete variable. Okay, now second type of variable is a continuous variable, and that we will not see here. Okay, but we will give the example. Continuous variable means the example of continuous variable is a variable which takes a fractional values. Okay, it's called as a continuous variable. So can we have one example of continuous variable? Yes, we have. What is that example? The example is in the above example, we have considered a population of 100 students in a class. 100 students in the class. Okay, so we measure their heights height of each student. So height of each students, if I measure in the foot, then some students have an height 5 foot and 2 inch, 5.2, 5.6, 5, 6, like these, or 6.3, okay, 4.5, 4.9. So height will take the fractional values, okay. So that's why this variable is called as a height of a student. That variable is called as a continuous variable, okay. So but we will learn about the discrete variables only. We will learn about discrete variables only. Now for example, so here this is examples of discrete variable. First example is number of family members of a student in a is a discrete variable. Number of accident on highway per day of the year is a discrete variable. So see here, one more example is given here. A number of accidents on highway per day. म्हणजे हायवेवरती एका दिवसाला किती ॲक्सिडेंट होतात ह्या जर नंबर घ्यायचा असेल तर आपल्याला तो पूर्णांकातच मिळणार आहे. असा नाही मिळणार की 5.5 ॲक्सिडेंट झाले, 6.3 ॲक्सिडेंट झाले, 5.4 ॲक्सिडेंट झाले, ते असा मिळणारच नाही आकडा, ओके. तर नंबर जो आहे तो आपल्याला एक तर 5 होतील, 10 होतील, 11 होतील, म्हणजे पूर्ण नंबर, ओके. दॅट इज दी डिस्क्रीट व्हेरिएबल, ओके. Now we will learn about the data in statistics. What is the data in statistics? Data in statistics. When the statistical simple data in statistics means here. In the above example we saw population of students in the class. Okay, so in this from this population we collect some information, means height of each students. So if we measure height of each students, then for 100 students we have 100 values. That is the data. 100 values from 100 students, and these values are heights of that students, these students. That is the statistical data in statistics, okay. When the characteristic under study of a population is collected. So from this population, which characteristic we have collected? Heights. That is the characteristic. When the characteristic under study of a population is collected, it is called a data, and it is just the set of relevant observations obtained from the population. That is the simple definition of data in statistics. Raw data. Raw data means the collected data as it is called as raw data. So we have collected heights of 100 students, heights of 100 students in the class, and these data we keep as it is. Don't process, don't make any process on that data. That data is called as raw data. जसं की एखादा कच्चा माल असतो, कच्च्या मालापासून पक्का माल बनवतात. म्हणजे शेतातून जसा कच्चा माल काढला जातो, हा हे असा ठेवायचा, त्याच्यावरती काही प्रोसेस करायची नाही, आणि दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज अ रॉ मटेरियल. जसं आपण म्हणतो रॉ मटेरियलपासून आपण पक्का मटेरियल बनवतो, बरोबर आहे. जसं की कपडे कशापासून, कापसापासून बनवतात. कापूस रॉ डेटा म्हणजे रॉ मटेरियल, त्याच्यापासून कपडा तयार केला की हा वेगळं मटेरियल तयार होते, त्याच्यापासून त्याची प्रोसेस करूनच कपडे तयार होतात, बरोबर आहे. तर रॉ डेटा म्हणजे रॉ मटेरियल सारखं जायते, ओके. तर रॉ डेटा, अनप्रोसेस्ड डेटा इज कॉल्ड एज रॉ डेटा. मग प्रोसेस काय काय करतात डेटावरती माहिती आहे तुम्हाला? तर डेटावरती बरेच प्रोसेस करतात. पहिली प्रोसेस असते की तो डेटा इन्क्रीजिंग ऑर्डरनी लावायचा, म्हणजे दिलेले नंबर्स हे चढत्या क्रमाने लावायचे, दिलेले नंबर हे उतरत्या क्रमाने लावायचे, बरोबर. अजून वेगवेगळ्या प्रोसेस असतात त्याच्यावरती, ते आपण पुढे शिकणारच आहोत. सो ओके, द कलेक्टेड डेटा ॲज इट इज कॉल्ड रॉ डेटा. When the number of observations in the data are very small, then data is manageable. डेटातले ऑब्झर्वेशन्स कमी असतील तर त्याला काही जास्त प्रोसेस करण्याची गरज नाही, तो ऑटोमॅटिक आपल्याला मॅनेज करता येतो. Okay, manageable. If the number of observations in the data are very large, then we need to find its frequency distribution. म्हणजे डेटातले नंबर जर जास्त असतील तर आपल्याला मात्र वेगळ्या पद्धतीने त्याला हँडल करावं लागतो डेटाला, आणि त्यासाठी आपल्याला फ्रिक्वेन्सी डिस्ट्रीब्युशन फाइंड आउट करावं लागतं त्या डेटाचं. ओके, मग ते फ्रिक्वेन्सी डिस्ट्रीब्युशन कसं करायचं फाइंड आउट ते आपण पुढे बघणारच आहोत. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, the raw data consists of the marks of the raw data consists of the marks of 10 students out of 5. So see here given that these are the marks obtained by the 10 students out of 5. So first student, so this is the first students having 5 marks, this is the second student, this is one is okay, this is the second students having marks 1, third students having marks 0 out of 5, fourth students having marks 4 out of 5. Okay, next is fifth students having marks 2 out of 5. So in this way, this is the last 10th student, 10th student having mark 1 out of 5. So this is the small data and it is manageable. Okay, and it is manageable, is easily manageable and hence can be handled as it is. Okay, so it is not necessary to make any process on it because it is very small data. Now frequency distribution. Suppose instead of 10 students, if we have 100 students, then what will happen? 100 students, then 100 students, and we collect the marks obtained by these 100 students out of 5. Then what will happen? Then we have 100 numbers. For each corresponding to each student, we have one number, and that number is nothing but marks obtained to that students out of 5. Okay, so 100 numbers means quite big data, and it becomes quite difficult to handle this data. Okay, so that we will make the frequency distribution. So how to make this frequency distribution? See here, the frequency distribution table is as follows. So it is here already frequency distribution table is created. Okay, and this frequency distribution, what does it represents here? The first column is corresponding to marks of marks. So student may have 0 marks out of 5, may have 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, or 5 marks. Only 5 rows are there, sorry, 6 rows are there. Okay, so what is this frequency? Suppose we have 100 numbers, and out of these 100 numbers we have written here number 7 corresponding to 0, means this represents out of these 100 numbers, see here there are 7 means 7 is corresponding to 0, so 0 has frequency 7, means there are 7 students having 0 marks. Okay, means in the given data 0 appears 7 times. Okay, so in the given data 1 appears how many times? 15 times, means there are 15 students having 1 mark. See here, so see here, the frequency of 2 is 25. The meaning of this thing is 2 appears in a given data how many times? 25 times. 3 appear means there are 25 students having 2 marks. Okay, so 3 appears in a data how many times? 30 times. The meaning is that there are 30 students having 3 marks. 4 appears in a given data how many times? 17 times. So there are 17 students having 4 marks. 5 appears in a given data how many times? 6 times. That meaning is that there are 6 students having 5 marks out of marks 5 marks. Okay, so if we make the addition of all these things, it gives a 100 because there are only 100 students. So this is the way of managing the given data. Okay, 100 numbers, each number is out of these numbers because marks are out of 5. Particular student may have either 0 mark, may have either 1 mark or 2 mark or 3 mark or 4 mark or 5 mark out of 5 marks. Okay, so in this way we can write the frequencies of each number, and so this is called as frequency distribution. Very simple. Now suppose now again we have some bigger thing. So here each frequency will give the number of times the relevant variable is occurring. Here each frequency will give the number of times the relevant variable is occurring. So each frequency, suppose 25. 25 means the relevant number 2 how many times occurs? It occurs 25 times in the given data. That's why its frequency is 25. The meaning is that there are 25 students having 2 marks. Okay, so this is the frequency distribution of the given data. Now suppose we have a grouped data. Suppose we have a grouped data. Now grouped, what is mean by a grouped data? If instead of marks out of 5, if we have marks out of 25, then what will happen? Then the above table will have 26 rows from 0 to 25. Okay, and which is once again very difficult to handle. Okay, 26 rows difficult to handle. So we make some groups from 0 to 5, 5 to 10 for marks. Okay, in order to overcome on such a difficulty, we may group the marks, say from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 25, 25 to 15 to 20, 20 to 25, and then find the frequency table. Such a frequency table is called as grouped frequency table. Sample grouped frequency table is given below. So see here, we make the groups. So marks, we make a group of marks. Okay, so marks from 0 to 5, marks from 5 to 10, marks from 10 to 15, marks from 15 to 20, marks from 20 to 25, and then we write the frequencies. Frequencies means, so how many students which have marks in between 0 to 5? There are 8 students. From the given data we can find these values. How many students having marks 5 to 10? There are 19 students having marks in between 5 to 10. How many students having marks 10 to 15? There are 26 students. How many students having marks 15 to 20? 30 students. There are 30 students having marks in between 15 to 20. And how many students are there having marks 17, having marks in between 20 to 25? There are 70 students, and if we make the addition of all these things, we will get the 100 numbers because there are 100 students only. So this is the another way to make the frequency distribution. If we have large if we have a variable variate values I am saying here variate values in large numbers. Okay, we make the groups. Okay, marks is a variate. Marks obtained by student is a variate, and that variate, if we have in very large number, then we can make the group. Okay, we can make the group like this. Okay, so this is called as a grouped frequency distribution. We note that 0 to 5, 5 to 10, dot 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 are called as intervals. Width of each class interval is equal to 5. How to find width of each class interval? Upper limit, so here number 10 minus 5, so 0 to 5, so take a difference of these two numbers, it is 5. Take a difference of these two numbers, it is also 5. So okay, it is called as intervals, and the difference of the end values of the intervals is, it gives us a width of the class interval. So here width of each class interval is 5. Okay, then for the class interval say 10 to 15, 10 is called as the lower limit of the class, 10 to 15, and 15 is called as upper limit of the class, 10 to 15. Okay, 10 is called as a lower limit, 15 is called as upper limit. And if we make the addition of this both end, 10 and 15, and divide by 2, then we will get 12 by 5, and it's called as a class mark of this class, 10 to 15. So in this way we can find the lower limit, upper limit, and class mark of each class. Okay, class mark of each class. Next observation or note is, it is understood that every class interval is closed at its lower limit and open at its upper limit. Okay, and but final class interval 20 to 25 is closed at both the ends. Wow, now it is very important. Suppose this is our class interval 10 to 15. Okay, so it is closed at lower end and open at upper end. The meaning is that if we have, these are the marks, 10 to 15 marks. Okay, and suppose if we have 10 marks, then we will 10 is included in that class, but 15 is not included in that class. Okay, that is the very simple meaning. 10 is included in that class, but 15 is not included in that class, means 10 is closed, 15 is open. That is the meaning. Okay, but at the last class, what is our, but the final class interval is, our final class interval is 20 to 25. In this class interval both ends are included, means 20 is included as well as 25 is also included. It is closed at both the ends. Okay, very important. Now we see the cumulative frequency table. There are two types of cumulative frequency tables. First is cumulative frequency table less than type. Second is cumulative frequency table greater than type. Second is cumulative frequency table greater than type. Okay, and to explain these two tables and these two types of tables, we consider above example of grouped frequency distribution. Okay, so this is our above example. Marks of marks, first column is for marks, and it is marks are grouped like this: 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 25, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, and corresponding frequencies are given to you. The meaning of all these things, now you know the meaning of this number 8. Here are 8 students having marks in between 0 to 5. There are 19 students having marks in between 5 to 10. There are 26 students having marks in between 10 to 15. Okay, suppose some students have marks 10, then the students, where will be the class of the students, whether it included in that class or included in that class. 10 marks, students having 10 marks, it falls in which class, in this class or in this class, so that student will included in this class. okay, because 10 is excluded here, upper limit is excluded and lower limit is included here. That's why 10 appears here in this class. Suppose some student have a mark having marks suppose some students having marks 16, then what is the class of the student? Where will be that included? The students will be included, 16 marks students will be included in that class, because 16 is appears in between 15 to 20, okay. So in that class, suppose we have students with marks 10, sorry, suppose we have students with marks 25, then that students will be included in that class, okay, in that class. Suppose we have students with marks 15, then it will be included in that class, okay. 15 marks, because 15 is included here, it is not included here, 15 is excluded. So in this way we know that how to write the frequencies, okay. Now next is consider cumulative frequency table less than type. Consider cumulative frequency table less than type. So ignore this first row. First row is not of none of the use of this row. First row is not of use, okay. So now how to write cumulative frequency less than type? So first of all we write the first column marks corresponding frequencies and we start from this row. So and the third column is marks less than, okay. So we exclude this row, first row, marks less than 0, so it is impossible na, marks less than 0, it is impossible, no negative marks here. That's why we exclude this first row, we start from this. So in the cumulative frequency table less than type, we start from the upper limit of the first class, 5, 10, 15, okay. Upper limit of first class, upper limit, so we write only upper limits here, see here, okay. Now in the next column cumulative frequencies, we write the cumulative frequencies. Our first cumulative frequency is 8, we write 8 number as it is here, 8. The meaning of this 8 is there are 8 students having marks less than 5. 5 पेक्षा कमी असणारे 8 विद्यार्थी आहेत. 5 पेक्षा कमी मार्क्स असणारे 8 विद्यार्थी आहेत, असं त्याचं मीनिंग आहे, ओके. आता इथं नेक्स्ट रो तयार करताना काय केलेलं आहे आपण, या 8 मध्ये ही जी पुढची फ्रिक्वेन्सी आहे ती मिळवलेली आहे, म्हणजे 8 + 9 झाले 27. व्हॉट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस 27? देयर आर 27 स्टुडंट्स हॅव्हिंग मार्क्स लेस दॅन 10, ओके. आता परत काय करणार, या 27 मध्ये पुढच्या रो मधला हा जो 26 आहे तो मिळवणार आहोत आपण. इट गिव्स ए 53. द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस 53 इज देयर आर 53 स्टुडंट्स हॅव्हिंग मार्क्स लेस दॅन 15, ओके, लेस दॅन 15. ना या 53 मध्ये आपण पुढचा नंबर 30 मिळवणार आहोत, ओके. 53 + 30 इज 83. द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस 83 इज देयर आर 83 students having marks less than 20. See here, very important. Now in this 83 we will add these numbers, next row number 17, next frequency 17. So 83 + 70 is 100. There are 100 students having marks less than or equal to 25. We will call this less than or equal to here. Finally it is very important. There are 100 students having marks less than or equal to 25, okay. So this is the way of making cumulative frequency table less than type. Now next is cumulative frequency table greater than type, and here we start. So first two rows as it is in the previous table. What are the first two rows? These two rows we write here. Okay, so third column is marks greater than. In the previous table, our third column heading was marks less than. Now here the heading is marks greater than. Okay, so we start from the number 0, means lower limit. We write only lower limits here. See here 0, here 5, here it is 10, here it is 15, here it is 20. Okay, and then one more row is 25. Okay, not necessary to write this 25 also. Okay, so we start, not necessary to write, means marks greater than 25. There is no student having marks, 0 students having marks greater than 25. So important is from here. So we write this 17 number as it is here, 17. The meaning of this is there are 17 students having marks greater than 20. Okay, having marks greater than 20. Now in this 17 we add the previous row frequency, means 30. 17 plus 30 it gives 47. And the meaning of this is there are 47 students having marks greater than 15. Okay, again in 47 we add this 26, it gives me 73. And there are 73 students having marks greater than 10. Again we add in this 73, we add 19, and it is 92. There are 92 students having marks greater than 5, and there are 100 students having marks greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this is the way of writing a cumulative frequency table greater than type. Okay, so now we will stop here. In the next lecture we will see the next unit, in the next lecture we will see the next article of this unit, and we stop here. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, thank you very much. We'll stop here. Okay.